Namaste to all. How to lead a happy life. Vidurji and Vyas Muni has beautifully written, and it's very easy for us to remember. Of course, implementing in life is a little difficult task, but easy to remember. Number 5, number 6, and number 7. So 5, 6, 7 is the formula to become happy. So Vyas Muni, that means in Vidurniti, Vidurji says that by 5 you have to attain the knowledge of 6, and by abstaining yourself, by not doing the 7 sins, you can become happy. What are those 5? What is that 6? What is that 7? I'll explain to you in a short video. Number 5 is, of course, by controlling the 5 sense organs, you must or you can gain the knowledge about 6. And what are the 6? The 6 is called as in Sanskrit Shatak Sampatti, or the 6th wealth. I made a video, I think around 1 year back, on the 6th wealth. I'm sure that if you remember that video, it is a revision for you. If you have not seen that video, it's for sure a new information to you. So by controlling the 5 senses, you must gain the knowledge of 6, which is the Shatak Sampatti. The 6 Sampattis, the Shatak Sampattis are Sham, Dham, Uparati, Titiksha, Shraddha, Ekagrata. Sham is actually controlling our mind so that we do not get into sins and temptations. Controlling our mind and directing our soul to avoid sins and temptation is called as Sham. Sham also means peace. That means by following the Sanatan Dharma, by following dharmic deeds, we can attain peace in our life. That is one of the wealth in our life, number 1. Number 2 wealth is Dham. Dham means controlling the organs of actions so that we can live a life of chaste, or we can live a life of brahmachari, or we can live a life of tapasvi. Controlling the organs of actions. There are 5 sense organs, there are 5 organs of action. By controlling the organs of action, we can try to live a life of we can lead a life of brahmachari, tapasvi, or we can lead a life of chaste. This is the second wealth. Number 3 wealth is Uparati. Uparati means keeping aloof from wicked company, wicked persons. That means we must never make friendship with wicked people. If our friends are wicked people, for sure we will also turn into wickedness. We will also get the impact of that character in us. So one of the great wealth in our life is not to have wicked people as our friends. The 4th Shatak Sampatti is Titiksha. Titiksha means being indifferent to gains or loss, or cold or hot temperature, etc. That means keeping a balanced mental state in our life. This is called as Titiksha. And of course, by listening to this kind of lectures, or by listening to YouTube videos, we can never ever build these 6 wealths in our life. Only by adopting Sanatan Dharma, only by daily worship of Almighty God, only by listening Vedas from an Acharya, we can try to implement, or we can gain the 6 wealth in our life. The 5th one is Shraddha. Shraddha means Shraddha iti Shraddha. That means having a faith, or having unshakable faith in Sanatan Dharma, having unshakable faith in the Vedas and the words of Rishi Munis is called as Shraddha. The 6th Shatak Sampatti is Ekagrata. Ekagrata means concentration of mind. Ekagrata is one of the stage of our mind. In Ekagrata Vritti, in that stage, our mind will be capable to understand the knowledge of Vedas, and our mind will be totally focused on Almighty God. This is called as concentration of mind. We will not be bothered by the disturbance in our surroundings, in our families, or we will not be bothered by temptations. This is the 6th wealth, what Vidurji says in the 1st chapter. So by controlling the 5 senses, we must gain the knowledge of the 6, is what Vidurji says in this shloka. So we must gain the knowledge of 6 means we must try to implement these things in our life, so that our life will become wealthy, and so that we can try to become happy, or we can gain happiness in life. Happiness is always a matter of choice. It is an internal thing. It is not external thing. Please understand. The 7th and the number 7, by abstaining from 7 sins, we can become happy, is what Vidurji says. What are those 7 sins? The number 1 sin is adultery. We must not do adulteration in our life. This is the number one sin. The number two sin is gambling. Gambling in terms of playing dice or playing cards, and that means keeping money and playing cards, or going to casino or betting for a cricket match, etc. These are coming in gambling. And gambling is prohibited in Sanatana Dharma, in the Vedas, and there is a severe punishment, and also ill effects of gambling has been mentioned in the Vedas. My Acharya has beautifully described in the website vedamandir.com. But trading in the stock market, this is not gambling. That is an intelligent mathematics. For we are trading our hard-earned money in the stock market. That is not gambling. So gambling is a very big sin. The third sin is hunting. Hunting does not only mean that you take a gun and go to forest and shoot the deers or other animals for your personal happiness. That is not only hunting. Hunting also means killing the other animals and eating its flesh. Even though you are not killing, you are eating the flesh of other animals by buying it from the market, etc. is also hunting. The fourth biggest sin is use of intoxicants like alcohol or drugs or cigarette or tambaku, etc. is also a big sin. So by abstaining ourselves by not doing these sins, when we do not do these sins, we will definitely be a happy person in our life. The fifth one is speaking harsh words or speaking unkind words to other people. This is a very big problem in today's society. We speak harsh words even with our parents. We speak harsh words sometimes with our colleagues, with our friends, with known people, with unknown people. We have developed the younger generation, the modern generation, they have developed this in their daily life. This is a very big sin as per Sanatana Dharma. The sixth one is infliction of punishment to innocent persons. That means, like for example, if you are in a police power or you are in an administration power, you are giving punishment to a person who has not done any sin. This is a big sin, and we have to face the consequences and punishment by Almighty God for this. The last one, the seventh sin, is spending the money, our hard-earned money, for sinful purposes. That means spending money for, people spend money to go to prostitute, people spend money to buy liquor, people spend money to buy cigarette, people spend money to give money to others, so that I don't like a person, so I give money to some gundas and then ask them to beat him. This is also spending money for sinful purposes. Even spending money to or donating money to those people who are not real acharyas comes under the sins here. So we must not give donation to those people who claim themselves to be a guru, but they are not a Vedic acharya, they are not a Ashtanga yogi, they are not a tapasvi, they are not a realized soul. This also comes here. Our hard-earned money should be donated to acharyas. But donating to somebody or spending your money for growth of another guru who is not preaching Vedas, to public, that means without discriminating, if we are doing this kind of activity, then it is a big sin. So when we are avoiding these 7 sins in our life, the number 1 is adultery, number 2 is gambling, number 3 is hunting, number 4 is use of intoxicants, number 5 is speaking harsh or unkind words, number 6 is giving punishment to an innocent person, and number 7 is spending money for sinful activities or sinful deeds. So these 7 sins, when we avoid in our life, for sure our life will become happy. By controlling the senses, we must gain the knowledge about the 6th wealth, and we must try to attain the 6th wealth in our life. And by abstaining from these 7 sins, Vyas Muni and Vidurji gives a guarantee that your life will be happy. What a beautiful knowledge. It's easy for us to remember the number 5, 6 and 7. So whenever you want to revise, just write 5, 6 and 7 and try to revise this knowledge and try to take a note of this video. Thank you so much. Namaste. Om.